really is.
Okay, so prejudging is over and he gets to the back and looks at his phone.
Yes. So I look at my phone, and I don't know how I did. I mean, I can't tell by looking at anybody in the back. You know, all I knew is that I thought I did pretty well on my posing. That was about it. I mean, that's really all I knew. And then I make my way back to my phone, and I look at my phone, and all I see is messages saying, "Joey, you've got this whole thing, dude." And I'm looking at these messages like, "Are you serious right now?" But then immediately upon seeing those messages and seeing that, I immediately was like, "No, not yet." I put the phone up. I didn't open anything. I may have opened a message from you to respond to, because you had given me a tip about my gloss, about my glaze. So I wrote you back, but then all other messages, like while they were nice to see, I put them away because, again, I don't want to count chickens. It's not mine yet, you know, and so I wanted to keep that game face on. But it was still really surprising to see the response that I had immediately on my phone.
I was out in the crowd at this time. I didn't have to. Classic was really late in the show, so I was fortunate enough to be able to be out in the crowd.
I felt bad for you, though.
Watching the show.
I felt bad for you.
He came out for novice. There was no comparison in novice. Like it was game over before it even started. So that we knew that was a wrap. And what he talked about with the text message I sent, they gloss you up backstage before you go on, and I thought he had. Sometimes they call it sheen, and then sometimes they just call it a gloss. I thought based on his color was really good from his team. I thought they put a little bit too much. If you have too, it can wash out cuts. So I thought you just needed to kind of dab some of it off.
Well, and that's why also if you've ever watched the Olympia in the past, every now and then you'll see those competitors, they'll wipe down their quads, you know, or they'll wipe down their chest or their abs, so that because you're up there and you're sweating, and that sweat will cause some of your definition, some of your separation to potentially go away, and so you're like, get it off of there so that they can see it.
And that's the same thing that Sheen does.
Same thing.
It's the exact same thing. If you got too much, it plays the same role.
A little bit, if it helps. A little bit is great.
Yeah. You want to have a little bit. Don't get me wrong. You want to make your muscle pop, but just anyway, he was fine. There was no issue with it. He completely swept the novice class. I'll let you say what was next. I can't remember if it was state or open was next.
Next were the open categories. So it went novice, and then open, and then state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was out so many times. I'm having a hard time remembering right now.
Yeah.
There are some videos up. I put some videos up instantly on YouTube of prejudging. A few of his. I know the video from novice and I think open are up. I didn't get one of state, but I think Shar has one of state. I'm gonna get from.
That's a good one.
So you go out for open. Open was a little more stacked.
A little bit more, yeah. I mean, the prior two-time champion was up there too. So yeah.
Still, from what I recall, I'm getting the overall mixed up with the open in my mind. From what I understand, or what I remember is, we were pretty sure from watching that you had that as well.
Based on conditioning.
Yeah. So conditioning. Nobody compared. Like, we intended to take his body fat percentage, but I kind of forgot to get the calipers. I would say body fat was around 3 to 4% tops. Like, when you have glute striations from the top to the bottom. You know you're there.
Oh yeah.
You know you're there.
Well, not only that, like in some of the pictures, there will be a photo from kind of far away, and you can even still see them. And I think those are the photos I enjoy the most. That's where I just, and especially when the best compliment that a bodybuilder can get is on his conditioning.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, just flat out. I mean, people can have size and shape and stuff, but when people commend your conditioning, that's when a bodybuilder is like, oh yeah.
So we had several people telling him, you know, he was the most conditioned at the show, and there was zero doubt about that. Just stood out above everybody, like in every class, just popped over everybody.
It was so crazy.
So moving on to prejudging in the Kentucky State class.
That's the one with Casey Wilson. You remember him?
Okay.
Big guy.
Yeah.
Big, tall guy. He competed in Classic too. You remember him?
Yes.
Yeah.
This dude was a monster. Like he looked
big.
like a cornbread fed country dude, just massive. Like
Dude, he was such a nice guy though.
Yeah.
He was so nice.
you could tell, man.
Oh my gosh, I loved that guy.
This was the biggest dude I've ever saw be able to do a vacuum. He had a tiny waist.
My gosh.
But everywhere else, he's just massive. If he put it together and came in super tight condition, like that dude would be unstoppable in classic or bodybuilding. Just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the only thing, but I mean, the thing that propelled me above him for that show was just conditioning.
Yep.
I mean, that was it. Conditioning.
So we move on to the Kentucky State prejudging, and it was hard to determine what was going to happen in this class because there was that big dude. So I generally have a good eye who's going to win. I go to a lot of shows, and I generally have a good eye. I can almost pick out who's going to win the class. Sometimes they go for size, sometimes they go for conditioning.
Yep.
So it was a toss-up.
It really was.
Okay, so prejudging's over for today. We just seeing Joey on stage again. It's still pretty early in the day. Goes back to his room and has a pretty decent meal with just his normal foods. I think fish, jasmine rice, Wonder Bread.
Well, you maybe do something else too.
And then at 12, I said at around 12, go have yourself another burger and fries.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe that you were giving me another one.
And it did the same thing, like zero issues. Just body just soaked it up, man.
Well, and what was funny about that is that I think I could feel individual muscles actually just fill out. I mean, and I was kind of getting paranoid about it, and I got paranoid about it the night before too.
Yeah.
Because I felt those same like bubbles, like either like in my stomach, probably in my abs or glutes, and in my quads, and not really anywhere else actually. Like my arms, I never really felt those. It was mainly just here, like trunk and legs, where I'd feel these like bubbly sensations, and it was just so weird. And then I would start getting paranoid, like, shoot, what's happening? What's happening? And then I would go see Steve, and he'd be like, oh, dude, you're fine.
Yeah, he sent me a text multiple times worrying about what was going to happen from the first time around with Wendy's, but I knew nothing was going to happen. It was all going to be good. You may have a little bubble in your gut from internally from the grease, but outside of that,
I honestly didn't even have that.
that's cool.
I mean, I really didn't even have that. It just tasted great, and then it was gone.
So he has the burger and fries, and then the rest of the day we go back to normal foods. But I knew he was going to be battling in the overall with some bigger dudes. So right before prejudging started, had him take in a good amount of food again, minus protein. It was think it was Gerber cereal, or it was jelly, or,
Yep.
or jam, and
It was couple slices of bread too.
just a good, solid, sugar-loaded,
Oh yeah.
sugar-loaded meal.
Oh,
And
it felt great too.
it obviously did you good once again. So let's see where we're at now. We're going for novice. This is the novice class.
Yeah.
We bring you guys out, and as we thought, it was a clean sweep.
Oh,
You come back out for novice overall. The pose down was awesome. The pose down, I don't think I put the pose down on YouTube. The pose down was on Instagram. I actually need to send you that video because I do have it.
Oh, cool.
Just really good overall pose down, and he wins the novice overall, so you can no longer compete as a novice bodybuilder.
Nope.
Moving on to
Next will be open.
the open. So the open class. This was really interesting. You guys were up there for probably 15 minutes or
Well,
longer.
actually, Vivian timed it. They actually had us posed for 8 straight minutes. That's what it ended up being, 8 straight minutes. But man, it felt like forever.
Yeah, it was brutal. It's one of the longest posing sessions that I've saw, and I want to talk about that specifically. As time went on, every other guy up there started to fade. And what I mean by fade is they got to the point to where I don't think they could physically flex their muscle anymore.
Yeah.
And what this goes back to is your posing practice.
Yep.
I know you practiced and practiced and practiced religiously.
Oh yeah.
And it showed, man, because during that entire time, your posing never changed. Like you held every pose to the max, just like it was your first time out for the day.
Well, you prepared me super well for that. Super well. Especially with these sessions in here. Oh man, those were invaluable.
It was brutal though, man, and I give you mad props for being able to hold everything as long as you did.
Thank you.
It was impressive.
Thank
Like you don't see it often, but when you see somebody that can put in that kind of work over that amount of time, and then it just everybody else just fading, man. It was wild.
I still felt good, man. I really did. I was having a blast.
There's no doubt. Like it showed from the time you got on stage that morning till right now.
And then I even remember during that pose down, even the judges at one point in the middle, they stopped us and they said, take a second, guys, take a breath. We're going to do this again. And then I noticed everybody else actually takes a breath, and I'm just sitting here thinking, no, I'm not relaxing. You don't come up here. I didn't work my butt off to get up here and relax. Are you kidding me? No. And so what I did was I took my breath looking down, I readjusted my feet, and got back up. And it's like, no, I ain't relaxing. What are you talking about? That's not what we do up here.
I think this is the
But
point.
I get it though. At the same time, though, I know that it's a long posing session. Maybe they may be trying to look out for the athletes and stuff. I completely get it, But my mentality at that time was winning, and so I was going to do everything that I could to try to make sure that happened.
So we need to back up. Okay, so you won. We're still in the Kentucky Open class.
Yep.
So now they start calling out the top 5.
Oh, they only called out the overall winner. Or no, you're talking about open heavyweight. Yeah, that's right.
Open heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yep. So here comes another win. He wins the Open heavyweight Kentucky Open class. So now you're out for the overall. And this is where the long posing took place.
Yes.
Back up for a minute. So they announced the winner for the overall Kentucky State or Kentucky Open. You didn't win that, which you ask anybody you go look at that group picture of you guys on the stage at the end, and you can clearly see you should have won that. The guy was a big guy.
His
Conditioning was nowhere near, and I may be a little biased, but there's been a ton of other people say the exact same thing. Like
I've heard it too, but at the same time, he's got a great shape.
Not taking away from that at all.
Yeah,
he's a straight bodybuilder.
Yes, he is. I remember I saw him the day before in the elevator. I ran into him and his wife, who, by the way, were incredibly nice. They were super nice people. But I remember running into them in the elevator, and his wife was actually asking me about where the venue was and stuff like that. We were talking. I remember seeing him and thinking to myself, yeah, he's going to be there. And I told him that later on, and we had a few more conversations throughout the course of the show. But later on, he told me that when he saw me that time in the elevator, he thought the same thing when he saw me. He said that when he saw me, he thought, man, that guy looks like he's in good shape. Yeah. And I thought the same thing when I saw him. I was like, yeah, he's going to be there. But no, he has a tremendous shape, nice full round muscles. He's got really good proportions too. I mean, there's no use in dwelling on it. Yeah. I mean, I got exactly what I wanted. Yeah. I've wanted that Mr. Kentucky title ever since I heard about it, and I got it. Yeah. I could stand to lose though overall, but that Kentucky title is what I wanted the most. And so, but yeah, whatever. There's no use in dwelling.
So we move on to the Kentucky State part of it, which is where the Mr. Kentucky comes out of. And, well, you cleaned house, you took first place in that, so now you come out for the overall, and this has a couple big guys in it. Mm-hmm. This pose down was not as drastic as the Kentucky State.
It was more straightforward. It wasn't as drastic as the Open, because this one was the State. Yeah.
And being out there watching, this goes back to kind of what I saw in Open too. Like, will they take someone well conditioned, or will they take the bigger guy?
Yep.
And that's where I was going with the previous about the Kentucky Open. Not taking away from the guy at all with his size, but his conditioning could have been better. And that's one of the points where they take the bigger guy over the more conditioned guy. So when we get to the Kentucky State, I was a little worried.
Yeah.
Will they take the bigger guy? Because there was two bigger guys, though one of the guys, he looked like he was still 10 weeks out. But we have the big country-fed guy on the other end. So I didn't know. Like, this was a toss-up. The bigger guy or the more conditioned guy. Mm-hmm. You guys come out for another overall awesome pose down.
That was so fun.
They put you back on the diagonal. A lot of intensity. And then they announce the winner. And you are the 2021 Mr. Kentucky. The goal has been accomplished.
Well, there's no other feeling like it. Like I still can't believe that it actually happened, because I remember the very first update that I wrote that my goal was to win the Mr. Kentucky. That was the goal, and to actually set out that goal and achieve it. There's no other feeling like it. And then being on that stage and having them call you out as the winner of that, there's nothing like it. I've never been so satisfied or felt such a sense of accomplishment from anything else but that. It was just, there are no more words. I don't know.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. Just to see the excitement and the joy that you had from it, putting in the work to get there, and then making that goal a reality. You didn't know from day one. Nobody knew from day one would you be able to do it or not. Who's going to show up?
Yep.
It didn't. To me, it didn't once you got there and you got on stage, it didn't really matter who showed up. Your conditioning carried you, your posing carried you, your attitude on stage carried you. I don't think there was any denying, no denying that you should have won.
It's all good.
Yeah, man.
It's all good.
Just
I mean, you made it super easy. All I had to do was just do what I was told. I mean, it's really as simple as that. I mean, you just do what you're told. You just trust the process, because I've been in this game for a long time. Like you, not as long as you, but I've been in this game for a long time too. And so when you go into a prep like this, it's really easy as a seasoned lifter and somebody who has been trying to control their nutrition for years too. It's really easy to go into something like this with preconceived notions. And whenever you see something that goes against what you thought before, then it's easy to sort of want to fight that and stuff like that. But I knew that if I did that, that was just going to be detrimental to the process. I knew that if I was going to do this, that I had to give it all to you. Like, I had to give it all to you. Just do what he says, trust the process, and don't waver from the process. Don't second guess anything. Just do it. And I mean, you made it easy. I mean, you made it easy in terms of like your timeliness getting back to me, and like how everything was laid out so specifically and so exactly. I mean, it was just, again, all I had to do was just do the work. That's it. All I had to do was just do it. There was no thinking behind it.
that's my thought process behind. If it's just general weight loss or someone getting into just better health, my goal is to give that person everything I possibly can so they do not have any excuse to not get to where they want to be. If you don't give all that you can give, then you're leaving places for questions. And when you have questions, you know, here comes the doubt. Why was I not already given this information? So again, my goal is to give everything I possibly can from the get-go. And then, you know, once those updates start coming in, it's like we're beginning again every time. You're getting something new. You're getting all of it.
Make sure no stone goes unturned.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
But man, it was a hell of a ride. I enjoyed every bit of it.
I did too, man. I had so much fun at the show, and obviously the result was there was nothing like it. But I really did enjoy the process almost just as much as I enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think you have to
Yeah.
to do this right.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy the process, even dieting down for a
Yeah.
show. You have to enjoy the process of getting there.
Yeah, you can't really, if you start to dread, like, you know, dread the food, dread getting up, going to the gym, dread the cardio, you've got to have the mentality and know that, you know, this is all for that main goal. Like,
It's all for that one moment.
you've got to put in the work, and you just make it as enjoyable as you can. And I think we did that.
Oh, you did.
For one,
Yeah.
with the food, but
Oh,
two,
yeah.
our communication, and three, how we could look forward to coming in here with a crew
Oh
and
yeah.
going through, you know, the posing.
Oh, yeah.
And just, not just that, man, but like the friendship. The friendship part of it that
Yeah.
we've gained through this has been, don't expect it a lot. I kind of expected a lot, because I think I told you before, like these people that I work with, man, like you don't just become, I never call somebody a client. Like, we're a team.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a client. You can only accomplish this as a team. There's more that goes into it than just telling somebody what to do.
For sure.
It's, everything we did out here, full circle. And these people that I work with online, like, it's the same thing. Though I'm not with them physically, like, you communicate with people so much that you really learn who they are. You learn about things that you probably never really intended to know about them. So then, therefore, it becomes like they just become more like friends than anything. A lot of them that I've worked with some of these people online for multiple years. It's like these people are closer to me than my actual family is. It's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I've not even met, a few of them, but it's like, it's cool.
That is really cool. I mean, just the camaraderie that comes with the team too. Because now that I am now a part of this team, it's the camaraderie that comes along with it is like just that little extra added bonus to it that also helps carry you toward those goals too. Big time.
So, when you work with me, Shar is going to be, she's obviously, you already knew who spoke anyway, but when you work with me, she becomes part of it, not necessarily intentionally, but it just happens in time. And then on top of that, like somebody like you being local, you get all these people like Jacob, Matt, all these people that I've already been working with that now know who you are, and not just them, but when I post this stuff on social media, I'm sure you got a lot of feedback from people that I train, like from other states.
Oh yeah.
Just really cool, man, the support that you can get that you may never ever expect. And sincere support, like these people really care about how you do. It's a trip, man.
It is, and very unexpected, but it's very rewarding.
Very fortunate to be to do what I do right now, and to work with people like you and other people that I've talked about. It's been a pleasure. Like, there's been a whole lot of positives that's came from this, and I've learned a lot myself during it. And like I said, gained just a massive amount of friends from the process. So it's been life altering for me. It's been a ride.
It has been, man. I've enjoyed every second of it. Still trying to take it in.
So we're going to end here. We're going to discuss what Joey's future plans are in terms of bodybuilding, and see if we can take this one level higher in the future. But I just want to say thanks to everybody that takes the time to watch this video. We really do appreciate it. I hope that you could take something from it in terms of, in terms of what to expect from me as a coach in general, but what to expect from a prep in general, because we've covered a lot. If anybody has any questions, you can always find me on Instagram. Everything is Fitness Pointers, at Fitness Pointers. I will put Joey's information in this video.
Absolutely.
And if anybody wants to talk to him about what he accomplished, just congratulate him. Yeah. I'll put his social media links up, and feel free to reach out. But for now, I'm going to jump off here. Again, we really do appreciate anybody who takes the time to watch this.
I do too. Thank you, everybody. It's been real. Hell yeah, man.